So today I'm going to be playing on PokerStars, playing two 50 no limit tables. As per usual, this is my raise first in range from the low jack, high jack cut-off and button. And any comments you have, please leave them in the comments section or discuss them on Discord. As we play, I'm probably going to show you some of my free betting ranges as well, just so you can see my free betting strategy from different positions. So I've been playing a couple of tables already just to warm up before I start playing. And that's a free bet from the big blind. And this is a free bet with King Queen suited versus a low jack open. So I don't often limp, but well, I'll bet out here with the middle pair. First is 4 bet range. I'm going to fold the King Queen suited out of position. I think it's going to be dominated by a lot of the 4 betting hands from that position. Check the 2 pair there in the multi-way pot. The club jaws come in, but that would have to be a backdoor. So getting 3 to 1 on money here. Not necessarily worried about 6. I think he would have bet out on a turn, but as it's a multi-way pot, and I don't think he'd necessarily be bluffing into a pot at these stakes. However, I could be wrong. So this is my 3 bet range from the high jack. So this is versus a low jack. So I'm raising 10s upwards, ace queen off plus, and queen jack suited, and then king 10 suited plus, and ace 10 suited plus, and ace 4 suited and ace 5 suited as well. So this is my 3 bet range from the cutoff. So see, it expands a little bit more. So versus the high jack is a blue and all the reds. So we're adding a bit more 8, 9 suited, 8, 8 suited, king 9 suited, and queen 10 suited there with pocket 9s. So 3 bet on the button. So again, red is a low, what I'm raising versus a low jack. Blue versus a high jack along with the red, and then green is versus the cutoff. Obviously, I'm also raising king queen suited, ace jack suited, ace 10 suited. They're my calls in that position versus a low jack open. And then this is my 3 bet range out of the small blind. So as you can see, it opens up a bit more. And then when I'm in the big blind, as well. So let me check here my aces. So we could be like calling the 4 bets with like ace, queen, king, queen. Wouldn't expect queen jack to do it. No, he's checked. Quite confident in betting small here, and I'm going to go for half pot here, aiming for maybe pairs of jacks. I'm not necessarily worried about the flush with the ace of spades here as a 3-bet. Maybe there's a spot I should check call, so I'm going to check and then call a bet. So I don't think I would have got value. I think I probably should have bet there. So that was probably a mistake. I don't think he probably would have called with the pocket eights there, but I think it would have been better to bet as check and then call. This is a fold here. So yeah, those are some spots like with the aces where I need to improve, especially out of position to get value. Not thinking they're always going to be betting because he's quite passive. Check and then the call. And so I think you need to bet out to a size where you're going to get most calls from the range, including top pairs and hands like he had. I'd have felt a bit more confident about betting out actually if it had been a non-spade, but I should have been, I think, as confident with the spade on there. So as usual, if I open, that will be within my range, and if I do adjust for any reason, that's when I'll tell you why I'm opening. So this is call versus a small blind 3-bet. See, they could have a wide range of hands here. Call with my middle pair. So I think with the ace on the flop here, what hands is he betting worse with? I'm not sure he'd be betting with anything that I beat on this flop, unless it's a flush draw, but then that's still got a lot of equity against me if it's king 10 or king queen. Suited. Free bet with a, double barrel is a strong showing. See, obviously, I know there are spots that I have to improve on. Out of position is one like that. It's something I really have to work on to improve. So this is a fold versus a open and a 3-bet. So with this flush draw, I'm going to bet out my range. So this is a spot where I'm going over bet with my draw. Be a bit more polarised. Turn card is a bit of a blank really. It doesn't really hit anything. Unless you've got like a Jack 9 or Ace 9. So it's whether this is a good spot to basically put him all in. He's called twice. I'd imagine at worst he might have an ace. And I don't think I'm going to get him to fold. It looks like he's a bit of a fish. As it turns out, I was obviously ahead of him. And then, so I will call this bet from the initial raiser. I think I'm quite happy to call a cane. So you could have queens plus. And obviously definitely happy now, so quite happy to bet all in. I'm mainly losing to a 2 diamonds or a 9-10. And if he has it, so obviously I got lucky out. So without a jack there, I would have probably check folded to a 3 barrel. Now I'll check here. There's a poor pairs. Obviously I've already seen him calling with like nothing, so as he did in that previous hand. Whether I can extract value from many hands off, don't think I can. So I don't think he's going to bluff at me. I don't think he's the kind of player who's going to bluff. But if I don't think he's the kind of player who's going to bluff, then I'm getting 3-1 on my money. So he's the kind of player to bluff. So I made an assumption there, which obviously isn't good because it means, with my assumption I should have folded. Fold and the cut off. And I will 3-bet versus this open. 4-3 seated, obviously that's bottom of my range for the dealer button raising. So against this player, I'm quite happy to bet small, and I'm quite happy to continue with a 70% bet here with my opening straight draw to the nuts. So I'm getting the odds here to call, so I'm quite happy with that. And now I'm happy to check. Perhaps if I don't think it's a situation where he's bluffing. Obviously, last time he bluffed quite small. King high. It's like, what's he raising with on the turn? You know, I'd imagine at worst it's a top pair jack. I don't recall if he raised, check raised, like, or raised with the flush draw last time when he had the king two of hearts. So actually that would be interesting to look at. So small blind call here, and then so in position, I'm going to call with the eights. I'm not necessarily worried about this player. He's got a lot of repo. He's calling a lot. I'm going to tag him as a fish because of some of this play. Obviously, I'm calling in there, hoping to set mine. Now, what he's obviously got aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens in this range. Yeah, ace, king, ace, jack. There's a lot of hands he's got in his range. Definitely better for his range than mine when it comes to high cards like that. I'm not sure on that kind of flop what turn card would be helpful for me, obviously apart from an 8. It would leave me in a lot of difficult spots on the turn. So this is a fold here versus a small blind 3-bet for me. I could obviously justify calling with the big blind there, so I should probably really wait until but I think this kind of flop where you would get into trouble. Obviously that would have been perfect for me, but so this is out of my calling range in this position versus the 3-bet. So call from the big blind here with this. 3-bet versus dealer button's pocket tens. So I'll be betting 30% here. Go for my range. So you could have 9s, you could have 7s in that position, even 4s. But you could also have overcards. So the question's here whether I should check call as opposed to bet. But there's not really any bluffs on here. Semi bluffs 6-8, 8-10, or yeah, they might do. I think there's more inclined to call. So for me, I'm going to fold, believing this is a stronger hand. It's a fold for me from that position and open the A6 seated. So in a multi-way pot with this monotone board, I'm happy just to check and fold. Big size bet on a monotone board versus 2 opponents. So I'm going to bet out here, aiming for calls from jacks, draws, so you could have a draw. So I'm going to check here on this flush completing turn, and then I'm quite happy to make a bet here of just over pot size. Targeting the jacks and maybe pairs, lesser pairs. So I'm quite happy on this board to lead out. You could have a lot of Broadway cards here that he's going to fold. And I think, obviously, if he has got something, he'll certainly will tell me. So this is a spot I really need to gain with some of my courses against players of this type. Is where I need to improve on and just work into my game a bit more. So I'll call here versus the button, 2 suited cards. So I'm going to check, as I'm not going to get called by much. And now I'm going to lead out. Don't think versus a limp I have to worry too much about full houses and hands like that. Obviously, any play that you come across that you think I played incorrectly, just comment. So obviously the playing explains for me about me learning and improving my game and getting good feedback from everyone in the group. So I will now best 70% in a multi-way pot. So obviously he's got a big stack here, but he's very, very fishy. Again, out of my range, A7 seated for calling in that position. If I'm going to do anything with that hand, I'm going to 4-bet him. Rather than call. And if that was Ace-5 or Ace-4 seated, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So swap a flush draw here. So again, this is going to be a call for me. So this is a part of the course I followed with Brad Wilson about people leading into you. So this is the spot where I'm happy to bet 70% with my draws. Now he's checked. I think the lead would signify like a weaker hand. So see, this is a call, a min raise. And I will bet 50% here with my flush draw, straight draw. Check back with the queen and a low kicker. So I could get like draws to come along, and I will call. We'll see first is this. And I will go for the overbet here with my flush, targeting a queen X or a 10X. And as we can see, he's quite, I think in the past, he could potentially call. So I think there he was just going to fold anything. I don't think it was worth me checking there because I don't think he would have, you know, from the action of checking the flop and then calling, I don't think he would have been again trying to bluff the river. So I've got a few more minutes left. Well, I'll just have a look at some of my stats for the day. So, yeah. Not lost too many big hands. Obviously I had that big hand with the jacks here. So now what I'm trying to like play 2 or 3 tables to focus on getting a better win rate. as opposed to playing like 4 tables and trying to get more volume. It's not really worth me playing more tables if I'm going to lose money. So I may play less tables and hopefully concentrate, make better decisions and win more money. It's part of the game, so all call here, big blind. So I'm just going to check call here. There's a spot I think that I could lead, but I'm going to check. Think against this type of player. And so what I'm going to do is target, if he's got an ace here, or even a jack, and go for an overbet. So the overbets something I've been looking at in some of my coaching, but that's mainly on the turns. But I think it is definitely something I have to try to work into my game better, as I don't do it very often. But finding the right spots to do it. So on the last round now. I think there's been a couple of interesting hands. I think the ace has definitely lost value on. I see my initial reaction on that one was to bet out. Whether I get called or not, I'm obviously trying to get a range of hands to call, and I think it would have been better to bet out. I might have got calls from like queen jacks or an underpair like that, as opposed to checking to allow them to bluff. I didn't really have to be scared on that hand, but obviously this is what it's about, which is learning as you play. So obviously we were looking at my pre-flop ranges, and these are obviously from some of the courses I've done online, and obviously from some of the coaching. I do realise that I do have to adjust sometimes, sometimes raise, sometimes call certain hands, and not be so rigid. But that's just my baseline in terms of that's when I sit down, that's how I will play until I find adjustments in the game. So open there, and then fold here, and that's obviously my last hand on that one. So bet out in position with my set on this monotone board. As I would play all of my hands on this board. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Like I say, any feedback, comments, please let me know.